it's preparing. I'm a little nervous.
Me too. That's okay.
Okay, okay, I think we're live. Yep, we're live. Hold on, let me just fix my screen. Yep. Okay. Hi, everyone. I wonder, hold on, you guys, give me 1 second while I can figure something out. And there's a lag, Jen, so just so you know.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay, ready. So hello, everyone. I hope everybody is having a, oh wait. I need to pause my YouTube because I hear an echo. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, hold on. This is not my computer, so I don't know how to use it. Okay, 1 second, you guys, sorry.
You're fine, not a problem.
Did I have you on pause? Okay, I paused the YouTube on my computer. I just wanna make sure I'm not gonna hear it again because I was hearing an echo. I don't know if you could hear it.
No, I couldn't hear the echo at all.
Hold on. This is so new. Okay, well, I hope you guys can't hear the echo. Let's do this again. Once again. Hi, everyone. I'm here with Jenn Crockett. She is a psychic medium and intuitive counselor. She is amazing. She's my mentor, and I actually met her through a Facebook group called Lifting the Psychic Veil. So I don't know, do you want to explain what that group is about, Jenn? And welcome to my show, and thank you for being here with me.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. There's a little bit of a delay, so I'm just going to pause right after you speak, and then we'll go from there. But Lifting the Psychic Veil, we are a free reading group to where you come in and you can get free readings. You just post your photo. We can help you with that, or also with development. We can help you with development as well. I do live shows there to try to get as many people as I possibly can get read at one time. And then we also go through and we do just regular mediumship and psychic readings through the photos. So our main mission is to bring light work and healing to as many people as we possibly can, and to make sure that we build strong professionals in this field that are ready to take this career and take it to the next level. So that's our main mission of the group, and to help and heal as many people as we possibly can, for sure.
Okay, Jenn, I think since hold on 1 second. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I was just double checking that they can hear us and see us and everything, so everything is fine. Yeah, so yeah, that's an awesome group that I don't even know how I even found it, to be honest. Maybe it popped up like a suggestion, or I don't even know on my feed.
Spirit led you to it. That's how you can say it. Spirit just led you to the group. Right place for sure.
Right. And I actually applied, or not applied, but became an apprentice reader on that group. So I do apprenticeship readings. Does that make any sense?
Yes, you do. And I have to say that watching you grow and watching your confidence grow, that's the main thing, that's what this group is all about, is making you step out of your shell and into
Yes.
the road of where you're supposed to be. So that's one thing I want to say to you is congratulations for coming out and embracing that confidence and going forward.
Yes, yes. It took me a little bit, but I finally got the guts to do it. And I think doing the YouTube channel, it really kind of make me break the ice and just embrace it, you know?
Definitely. Just go for it.
Yes. I'm gonna try to pull up the live feed on my phone so I can see what's going on and if they're saying anything. Yes. So I'm gonna bring down the volume. Okay. All right, so we can get started. I can see the chat, I can see you, they can see us. We're all good. Well, one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring you to my channel is because you do actually live readings on Facebook, correct?
I do, yes.
And I got to watch you, and the first time I saw you, I was like, whoa. Like, I was so amazed of your abilities and, you know, how you can connect with spirit. That's, to me, it was mind blowing. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be just like her. So you inspire me for sure. And then you did a reading for me. And on that reading, you shocked me. Like, I mean, I knew you were for real, but there's nothing like experience it, like 101. Because on the live readings, they're mini readings, you know, you cannot really go on big details about it. But yeah, you shocked me, and you confirmed some things for me, and you actually, I think you know, but you actually helped me heal a certain spot that I thought I had healed, but I just needed to hear it to be able to move on and say it's okay. I can't forgive myself for that.
Yes, confirmation is everything. That's huge. Just knowing that you're on the right road, that you're doing the right things, confirmation. That's big for the human and for the soul.
Yes, for sure. And before I was awakened, and I'm sure everybody goes through this, like the signs are always there and the confirmations are always there, but people don't see them, or they choose not to see them, or they're not aware. So what else since I'm in this road, I mean, I said I'm a baby psychic because I feel like I'm really just learning everything, embracing everything, learning how to tap into this and all of that. So to me, I'm very curious to know how you got started in this path of being a light worker. So I don't know if you can share with us.
I definitely, I started first seeing spirit when I was 6 years old. I was very young and we were living in a house, and I kept seeing this gentleman he'd walk from the kitchen all the way to the bathroom and he would just disappear. And I never understood what he was. He didn't feel bad to me. It wasn't anything like I was afraid.
Scary.
It was just like somebody was there, but yet he would disappear. So I knew he wasn't in human form, if you know what I mean. He felt like energy. He felt more like excitement. Like that's the best way I could feel it, is when spirit is around me, it feels almost like excitement. So that's kind of what I felt. And after we moved out, my parents let me know that there was actually a gentleman that passed away in the house. So that was when I first realized he was a spirit. And that's when my family first realized that I had gifts. So I have always been in tune with the spirit world as well as intuitive. I've always felt one way to know, like, especially if you're a healer, is your hands burn and you feel like you need to go out and touch somebody. And I felt that since I was a little girl growing up, you know, especially into high school and into middle school, whenever people are developing and they're really trying to figure out their role in life, I really felt that people were like a magnet to me, and I was a magnet to them, and trying to help in relationships and problems and and, you know, I was always the problem solver. So I went into mental health because I felt I had some instances that happened to me myself, in which I wanted to help individuals that went through the same things I did in high school, and overcome them, find their strength, find their power, you know, find all of that. I was in a relationship, and in the relationship, I ended up getting hurt. I mean, a long-term relationship, 2-year relationship where you think you know everybody, and then I ended up getting hurt. So I wanted to shed fat, to follow your intuition, because that intuition was definitely there at the beginning. But of course, I went against that, and consequences come from that. But I also wanted to show how much you can grow and shed to light on that part of it as well. Just because you have bad experiences or things that happen to you doesn't mean that that has to define your life or who you are in the world. So that's kind of where I went into. I got lucky, and when I turned 17, I started working for a psychiatrist, and that turned my world into mental health 100%. So I put my gifts together with my mental health, and that's where everything fell into place.
Your passion. That was your passion.
Yeah, definitely. So I was a counselor for 6 years, and then I turned into doing more one-on-one electronic, over the internet, things like that. So that way I could reach more people. I feel like I want to help those individuals that don't always get the chance to be helped. So that's one of the main reasons why I turned to online and helping people and basically spreading the word, you know, spreading the word that there are individuals that can help and can bring healing to other individuals out there.
Yeah, that's great. You froze there for a minute. Oh, you're good. Yeah, that's great. I was gonna ask you, I didn't want to interrupt you. So you never, I guess maybe because you were a kid when you first saw your abilities, or you were never scared of them, even though you, like for example, the first time I had a vision, it scared me, but it scared me not because it was scary. It was not scary or threatened. I didn't feel anything, but it scared me because I didn't know what just happened. Like, was I asleep? Was I knew I was awake. Yes, it was different from anything that I ever had experienced. So I felt like my first reaction was to be scared. Were you ever felt that? Or since you were a kid, I guess when you're a kid, you don't have that, you know?
Yes, and I was, and that's something to kind of shed light on as well as a child, is especially at night, because, you know, dark, you don't know what's out there. And when you have that connection with spirit, you feel, and if you could see, sometimes, you know, it is scary. So I remember asking my sister, will you stay up and wait till I go to sleep? You know, different things like that, because I was able to feel and I was able to see, and I knew it was different. However, I did always feel like I was protected, like as if I felt like I could call upon my higher power or the source or God, whichever one you want to say. I always felt that if I called upon my angels, that they were there. I instantly felt that comfort type of feeling. So in my, as being a child, what I would do is I would have put the blankets over me, and that was kind of my shield. So, you know, I'd put the blankets over, I would get that comfort type of feeling, and then I would be able to come out of the blankets and not be afraid of that spirit, because I think at that time they were showing me this is not something to be afraid of, this is a gift. But it took me the same thing as you. It took me a little bit of time to get used to that.
Yeah, and be able to control it.
Yes, and definitely being able to control it. I can tell you that when I was about 19, 20, 21, that's when I went through my awakening. And at that point, it was very scary, because I was, not only was I going through my awakening, but I was also dealing with, you know, alcohol and things like that, because that was whenever I was in the middle of growing and, you know, being a kid and doing all of that stuff. That I didn't know what was the alcohol, what was, you know, what was my gifts, what was, you all of this. So it was a growing experience, definitely for me at that time to go through it, especially while you're growing yourself and going through that transition too. So that's, I could say the biggest thing there was intuition and knowing that what I was seeing it was definitely coming from somewhere else that was good, not somewhere that was bad. And that was definitely something that helped me.
Yeah. I just have a question. I just thought about a question when you were saying that. Yeah. So let me ask you this. I mean, I can say that since I was little, I always had my intuition, and I always was very empathetic with people. And yeah, but I never actually saw anything till later.
Correct.
So do you think that's because I guess my higher self, or did I shut that down, or I was just never able to open it and see it? Or why do you think some people like you, for example, you were able to see spirit from age, you said 8? And what's the difference between that and not like someone like me that I started seeing things like that way later in my life? Like,
well, one of the big things to understand about development too is that you're going to transform as you transform through your development, and as you go through different stages in your life period, your gifts are going to change. So as you have the clairvoyance where you see a little bit more instead of the clairaudience where you hear, it might transform later on where you're going to actually smell more and you're going to hear instead of seeing. It's going to be different as you go through different stages in life as well. Okay. There were points where I was able to see, but yet now I can feel, and then I could see photographs more than I could see the actual, somebody standing in front of me. But as a child, it looked more like a person standing in front of me instead of a photograph. So I think it all depends on the psychic's ability and what you were kind of born with, because I highly believe we were all born with different gifts that stands out, such as, we may have only one clair where everybody else has 4 that are pretty significant or work more hand in hand together. I think it just kind of goes with development and transformation throughout the whole thing.
Okay. And I guess, would you say that some people are born more susceptible, or not more, I don't know what's the word.
To different gifts. Like, for example, some people are born natural healers to where their healing ability will be a lot more charged than their psychic ability, something similar to that. Now, I believe at some point, every children has the ability to feel and see spirits, but then that either goes away because you push that away and you get busy with life, or, you whatever that may be. But I definitely believe we all start out with gifts and intuition and the ability to tap into spirit. It's just who develops it and who doesn't. Yes.
I believe that too. Yes. Just looking at my nails to see if I don't want to miss anything.
Not a problem. I'm just so excited to be here. This is so fun.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, I want to mention Jenn has a website. It's jenncrockett.com, correct? Jenn?
Yes.
And well, I guess you can, you want to plug all your information?
Yes. Yeah, that's fine. On my website, it basically outlines everything, my history about me. I have a blog that I just recently started in which I'm going to do a card of the day. I'm going to offer different services, different referral services, things like that. But I offer everything from just quick questions, card readings, to healing, to teaching healing. I'm also offering the certificates to where I could teach Reiki as well. So that's the other thing is I want to expand on the light workers and know that, you can tap into this and grow yourself as you become a light worker. That's huge. But the main thing as well is bringing the peace, bringing closure, and bringing love and light to everybody, and letting them know that they're definitely not alone. Your loved ones are definitely there with you all the time, leaving signs. But if you are overwhelmed, if you have anxiety, if you have all of that stuff that can overtake you, then you're going to miss those messages. You're not going to be able to feel them next to you.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Sure.
One thing that I wanted to mention and say is that, well, like I told her, you know, but now everybody knows, Jenn is my mentor. And what I really appreciate of her is that she really likes and she really works really well just with her own abilities. She don't depends on anything else and any cards, or I mean, she uses them to, you know, as an aid, not as an aid, how would you say that will be, as an extra?
Yeah, mainly a visual, because then you have a visual that you can see the card, you can see what's written on it. And it kind of, to me, it almost imprints it into your mind, that message that you get on that live, it almost imprints it into your mind a little bit more.
Right. And yeah, that's what I want to learn, just to be able just to use all my abilities. And if I want to use extra stuff, that's great. But I want to be able just to tap all. And you're a big inspiration because, like I said, you have a real gift. And yeah, I'm sure you change a lot of people's lives. You changed mine.
That's what I hope, and I hope that you will as well, because that will help you grow and help you feel accomplished as well. And your intuition, that's a big thing that I could say. As you use the cards, as you use that, you're using your intuition. So that's going to help you grow too. So don't be afraid to start out using tools and stuff like that to gain your confidence, but don't, for anybody that's doing development, don't get dependent on those tools.
Yes, I don't want to do that, because I don't want to feel like I can't work if I don't have something, like depend on something. Yes. So I was going to ask you, do you want to share anything? Do you want to present something to the world?
Sure.
Message?
Yes, the main thing I want to bring to light is basically mental health, because I've been in the world of mental health for so long. I've worked with in basically every avenue you can think of, from private center clinics to rehabs. I was director of a chemical dependency unit. In my very small town, one thing that I did was I did a rally for that town to understand that mental health and addictions really are one they fall hand in hand. Everybody is addicted to something at some point, and then everybody has issues that they go through that are considered mental health. That would be considered not having confidence, depression, anxiety, different things like that. And then of course my favorites, which would be schizophrenia. And that's what I really want to shed light on, because there's not an understanding of schizophrenia in the world. That's the biggest thing that I have to say. Schizophrenia to me is a sixth sense. It's not a mental illness. To me, it's something that everybody needs to understand, that they may have gifts, they may have a little bit of, something going on to where they need to get control of their mind, but it's not something that cannot be worked with, or something that needs to just have medication thrown at and be done with. I definitely agree with the medical field when it comes to schizophrenia and the medications and, getting under control. But I also agree with the Zen, with the holistic therapy, with the talking, with understanding your gifts, kind of understanding the whole aspect of schizophrenia, and not just putting so much of a medical aspect on it and pushing it to the side. So that's my big thing, is just knowing that people with that are hearing voices, that are, all of that, that if they feel like they're not of this world, that they're a little different, that's for a reason, that they have a gift that they need to embrace and not be afraid of that.
Yeah, and that's great. And I'm glad you're so passionate about that, because we were talking about this before. You don't hear that often, to talk about this schizophrenia and how it's so misunderstood. And like you said, sometimes they just shove a bunch of pills and just live like that. And it's not going to help the person at all.
Correct. You need to treat them and teach them how they can live with that, and how they can either overcome it or live with it and be healthy with it. And then that goes along the same thing as, mental health and suicide awareness too. That falls a big play into what I do, and how I became a psychic medium is I had an angel whenever I was going through my transformation and my awakening, and I was back and forth and up and down and whatnot. I had my best friend here here on earth, he was my angel here on earth. And I even called him. He was my angel, and I called him my angel. And then he ended up committing suicide. And after he committed suicide was whenever I felt a very strong connection and passion to put together my link with the spirit world and bring light, that healing. So I know that my angel is definitely working with me to help bring healing and help bring closure to people, because there was closure that was not there, that should have been there. But things that have I've overcame, I've seen people overcome, that I want to definitely shed to the world, that you're not alone whenever you have mental things going on, whenever you don't understand what's going on in your body. You're not alone. You definitely have people that understand, and you could figure it out together. Just know that you're not alone, either here in the waking world or the spirit world. You're definitely not alone.
Yes, because we all humans, we feel sometimes we're so alone, but really we're all connected, right?
Yes, definitely. And spirit has a way, their energy. So they have a way of being in different places, multiple places at one time. So just because you don't feel them there, that may be touching based on your gifts and your emotions. Just because you don't feel them doesn't mean that you're not getting an image that pops in your mind and a message from them that way. Knowing that your gifts and how they come through to you are going to change as you grow too. We're humans. We grow, we always change, as do they with us.
Yes. And I want to mention also, when you did the reading for me and you mentioned my father-in-law, I'm sure you do a bunch of readings. I don't know if you remember, but it actually helped me. I always knew that there was life after death, but there's that thought still that when somebody passes, you're not going to see them again, even though you hopeful you will. But when you just connected with him and you give the message and stuff, it made me heal and understand that dying is part of life. That is just another transition, another step of our evolution as souls.
Correct.
So yeah, like I said, you helped me so much in so many ways in just one reading. So yeah.
And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to bring light that way and know that it doesn't take this extensive amount of time for the healing. It's just finding the right things to heal from and moving forward from that.
Yes. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I was looking at the chat. I was going to say, that you inspire me. I always want to help and want to give back to people. And just like you said, in high school, you always felt like people were drawn to you, you were the problem solver, and I can totally relate with that. I always had like my friends asking me for advice, and at some point I was like, I'm just a teenager, just like you.
Correct. Yes.
Forgot where I was going with that. Sorry, I do this so often. I just.
But that was your passion. That's where you felt that you needed to be even then. That was your passion.
Yes. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. So after being in this group, knowing, seeing other people help other people, like with readings, with astrology, with whatever, it really inspired me and set up a fire inside of me that, no, I want to do that. I want to help people. I want to be able to, in whatever way, if I can just help one person, that will be it for me. Like, I will be so happy. So by watching you and the way you inspire me, it make me, work on myself, and that I can actually be, like you.
Yes.
in some ways.
Yes, and you are very helpful, and you will help millions of people. You're going to help tons of people, especially even showing your developments, because a lot of people will not do this. This is a scary time. This is a scary time to come out and put yourself out there. So I'm congratulating you and looking at you with inspiration, because you're actually willing to put yourself out there.
Oh, thank you. And you were saying something like, I feel so drawn to you because your abilities and mine, they're kind of similar.
Very similar, yes. Especially with the way that we get our images that just pop up out of nowhere, the photographs that kind of morph into movie clips, and then just how the images that just kind of pop up. Now, the next step, like I've told you before, and I hope you're working on, is putting together the symbols of what your symbols mean compared to what, you know, what they mean to you, your intuition and what the symbols you're getting. So that's going to be a huge thing, is kind of putting that step together and doing that. Understanding yourself, where you are, and what all of this world is, you know, for yourself.
Yes, and I remember you said something, because right now, like, I'm just to the point where I just see the images and that's it. But you mentioned, like, you're at the point so developed that you can see, like, okay, if you go this way, this can happen, and like different video clips and
different directions. Yes, exactly. They just like video clips. That's the best way you can explain it. It's just like video clips, or deja vu that kind of plays over.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's another way. But yes, one thing I love about doing that is I like to be able to go through and I can kind of see how it's going to play out either way that you decide at that moment. Of course, it's not laid out in stone. If you decide not to get out of bed tomorrow, what I seen, you know, is definitely not going to happen. But
everything is.
Yes, yes. But at the same time, I can go the different avenues and give you the best bet. That's where I see that you're going to love too, because you like to look at the different sides of things. Yes. So that's where you have that natural passion to want to look at different avenues.
Yes. Yeah, yes. So yeah, I can't wait for that. I told you before, I'm ready. I can't wait. I'm so excited. When that will happen, I'll be like, oh my gosh, it happened. Yes, I won't be scared this time. I won't be scared because I understand it better.
Because you can embrace it. Exactly. As long as you embrace it, that's when that fear goes away. Get rid of the fear of the unknown. That's the hard thing.
Yes, for sure. And I was going to say, because you mentioned it before, maybe you can explain better. Because I had noticed before people that are out there as light workers and that, you know, want to help people. Sometimes I don't think they understand the amount of responsibility that they're doing. You might
Oh, did you freeze?
And you have to be very I guess in control of knowing that, you know, you whatever you're gonna say is gonna impact somehow the other person. So how do you feel about that?
Definitely. I think it's very huge to know that once you're going through your development, that's one thing, you know, going through your training and everything's one thing, letting them know that you're training, because then they know that you may not always, you know, you're putting the pieces together. That's a big way to put it. But if you take this to a professional level, one thing that you have to understand is the toll it's going to take on you physically, and how to make it to where you're not getting it drained from yourself. You're not draining your own energy. And then understanding that, yes, there's a weight on your words. There's definitely weight on your words and what you give to people. Because if you didn't know what you're talking about and you're just throwing and blowing smoke out to people, you're changing people's life. So you need to understand that you're playing with people's emotions, people's hearts, people's heads. So you need to understand that when you are seeing something, you know what you're seeing and you know what you're giving to people. That's the only way that true healing can come from, is knowing that you're confident in your skills and your gifts, and that you can help the people get to where they need to be. That's one of the biggest things that I can stress out there. And the other thing that I could say is, again, the self-care, making sure that you're not taking your own energy, that you're using the higher powers, gods, the source, you know, whatever you want to look at, that you're using that energy instead of your energy. For those that are empaths, that you're grounding, you're protecting on a day-to-day basis, anybody with gifts, because that's going to help you, you know, taking care of yourself as well as taking care of your clients, and making sure that you have all of that balanced out. That's good. That's what's going to help make and grow strong professionals in this field.
Yeah, because it will be so sad that your whole goal of doing this is to help someone, and then by you not being okay with you you might end up hurting them, doing the
Correct.
opposite instead of what you wanted to achieve.
Correct. And one big thing I want to bring light there is knowing that working with grief, working with spirits and stuff like that, if you're not trained and you don't know how to handle that, you are opening up scars that could definitely hurt people even more than what they came to you for the help with. So you have to know how to open up those scars, treat the scars, and then close that back up to where there's no scar there. So it's very important to understand that you have to have the confidence, and you have to know what you're doing to be able to help others. It's important. It's an important job.
Yes, for sure. It's not a easy. It's a serious business.
Definitely.
Okay. I wanted to ask you if you would like to do maybe some readings, maybe a few, like 2 or 3 or whatever, to anybody in the chat. So if you guys are interested, just say me, and maybe Jen can hopefully connect, because I want to show you guys what she can do. It's just amazing. You guys got to see it.
Definitely. I would love to. Now, I can't see the chat screen, so you're just going to have to read me a name or what it is that they want focused on. So if you guys can put out, if you want love, if you want career, whatever topic that you want to focus on, or else I will just completely go off and never stop.
Yes. Okay, so I have Deborah Tucker. She said, me, please. But she didn't say anything specific. Maybe we can give it a minute.
That's fine. I'm already getting images. That's fine. Okay. And sometimes that happens too. Just as long as I have a name, then I can get images. The big thing that I'm getting there is making sure that, anxiety wise, anxiety tends to creep up and add to that fear, which that's kind of what I was talking about when it comes to mental health. When you have that anxiety that goes into fear of the unknown, of not knowing what's going to happen next, that's when you miss opportunities. So I'm definitely seeing doors that have opened for her within the past 2 to 3 years that she has kind of missed, not important doors, but doors to where it would have made things a little bit easier. So she has kind of went the hard route the last 2 to 3 years, maybe even a little bit longer than that. But I can say definitely that things are going to be getting better there. But she's got to work on her anxiety too, on that anxiety and that fear. So that way she's going to be seeing the other doors that are going to be opening for her this new year. Because this new year, I'm seeing tremendously that this new year is going to be full of transformations for her. And then I'm also getting that there's a male figure around her, a living figure that's around her. I don't know if this is a son, nephew, somebody that she's worried about, but I'm picking up that there's somebody that she's worrying about. She's worried about how things are going to turn out. That's definitely going to, she's going to see that things will definitely balance itself out after the new year. Things are going to start to get better around March or April. So I definitely see that.
Awesome. She put life path, but I think that's what you kind of cover that.
Definitely.
Without her saying.
Definitely. And career. The big thing I'm getting with career too is making sure that she's working with animals and not working underneath somebody, because she needs that authoritative type of position. She doesn't really work well underneath somebody. Working with somebody, great, but working underneath somebody, new.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yes, definitely. Me too. Totally.
Yes. Okay, so also I have Rainbow White, The Phoenix Rises. She wants a reading, and she said on her my spiritual reading. I don't know.
Okay, one thing I am getting is that there's spirit guides that are coming through to her. She has very strong male spirit guide that has been trying to come through to her, but she's been a little bit stubborn because she's on her own path. Like, she sees that she's going her way, and it's where, like, I'm almost seeing that everything falls in for her at like the last moment, and she's kind of gotten used to that habit. But at the same time, knowing that that self-doubt does come up along the way. So if she would just get in her mind the entire time that it's going to work out to her advantage, then that would help her to help. Like, I'm getting that, that feeling in the middle of your stomach when you have that anxiety, or that feeling where you don't know what's right over the corner. Almost excitement, but more of that like anxiety feeling. feeling, she gets that quite often, and then it goes away once everything plays out. So if she was to just know that things were going to play out and go more with the flow, then things would definitely happen there more natural. Also, I'm getting that I don't know if she's a public speaker or if she has thought about talking and sharing her story or experiences in front of people, but I definitely see her standing in front of people and like sharing her story or mentoring people, helping like a big group of people.
I know she has a YouTube channel, and she just said that I'm feeling the spirit guide right now.
Perfect. On the left side of you.
I love how specific you are.
Yes.
Also, Deborah Tucker said, thank you. It's me, son. Very true. And I have Ransom, and he asked, who talks in my dreams? Are they dead or alive humans or other?
Okay, what I'm getting there is some of what you're getting is just your subconscious, and some of what you're getting are actually spirit, because he does have a link to the spirit world. But right now it's like he has the confusion between what's his thoughts and what's spirit thoughts. So that's one big thing. Grandpa is a big one that's coming through, either a father or a grandfather type figure that's coming through. The big thing that I'm getting is either right before he goes to bed or right when he wakes up, he feels that presence as if there's somebody there, and that's how he lets him know that he's there. Also, there's activity that happens in the kitchen, so there's either there's a drawer or somewhere that's next to the faucet sink, there's sounds, or there's activity that definitely that's grandfather too. He's coming through in his dreams, but at times the other people and some of the other stuff that's going on are just his subconscious thoughts, you know, warning him of what personalities to stay away from, or what he's even bringing to him, like what he's craving, what he's missing in life. So what would help is getting a journal and writing down what he's feeling, what he's seeing, what he's tasting, all of that stuff as soon as you wake up, and right before you go to bed. So that way you clear your mind right before you go to bed, and then as soon as you wake up, so you can remember your dreams. Just make sure you do not reread what you write down, especially before you go to bed. If you reread what you wrote, you're going to put it back in your mind, and it's going to play tricks on you. So the important thing on getting it out of your head and journaling period is getting it off of your chest and out of your head and putting it away.
He says, he also has a YouTube channel, and he makes videos of his dreams. He says it's mixed dreams. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's mainly because he's getting messages in his dreams. So he needs to clear out his thoughts from spirit, and then he's going to be perfectly clear. He'll be able to understand that a lot better.
Okay. Let's see if anybody else want to have a mini reading. Mm-hmm. And if you guys got a reading, can you please leave a comment after the live show ended, because the chat will not stay. So if you can just leave a comment and say if whatever Jen said resonate, or whatever opinion you had, because I think she will appreciate it and I will appreciate it too. Definitely. We like feedback.
Yes, definitely.
I'm just gonna give it a minute to see if anybody else wants a mini reading.
And that's a huge thing for anybody that gets reading, is feedback is wonderful, because it helps the reader, no matter how experienced you are, it helps you grow. So the more that you can do that, and to me, it helps me know that I have a good connection. So the more that I have confirmation, then the more images, the more things that you can get. So the better reading you can get.
Yeah, and for like me, that I'm not there yet, to me, it gives me confidence, because I doubt myself so much.
Definitely.
So
yes, and it'll grow them.
I get feedback, it helps me. Yes, I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I was right. So yeah, I like feedback. Okay, so my friend Niz, her name is Renee. She said, me, please. I can't think of a question though. So I guess whatever you're getting from her.
Okay, so the big thing that I'm getting with her is one, I'm getting that she's had a lot of past lives. And that's kind of playing into where she's at now. So for one, I'm getting that, I don't know if she's afraid of water or if she's attracted to water, one of the two, because what I'm seeing is that she was a pirate or had that pirate type of past life to her. So that's where she kind of, I don't know if she likes pirates, skulls, you know, anything that has to do with that, but that's kind of her attraction to that. And there she can have either a fear of water, kind of depending on what happened in that past life, or she can also love the water, you know, depending on what happened in that past life. So knowing that stuff from that past life is definitely playing into this one. One, the want to go and be free, the want to travel, the want to experience new things, stuff like that, that's definitely intertwining into this life tremendously. So that's where, as long as if she could go back and understand some of her past lives, then it would help her understand where she's at now. The other big thing I want to say with her too is to calm down her thoughts, because I'm getting that she has racing thoughts that just, I mean, they just go on for days. So if you can calm down those thoughts, as in journaling, as in finding what would work for you, I mean, there's going to be tons of stuff that can help. Grounding and protecting is a huge one, because she is an empath. So she gets the emotions of everybody, and that makes her confused, that gets her mind racing, and it just all feeds in together. So if she can ground and protect herself, that's going to be one way that can start to help with those racing thoughts. Journaling, talking to somebody, or creatively getting it out, that's going to be the other way too. The more that you could do it, the clearer those thoughts are going to get.
I have a question for you, might be kind of random. Because me and her were very close. We talk all the time, and actually it's really nice to know her because she's going through her awakening too at the same time. And it's nice to compare notes, because there's some days that I'm feeling a certain way, and I will ask her, hey, are you feeling this? And she'll be like, no, but I'm feeling like this. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, it's just so nice. And I feel like we have a really a special bond. So my question is, does we have any past lives connections?
Yes, and that's I'm picking up at least two, because I'm picking up at one point you were mom and she was daughter, and that's
Wow.
where you get that protective type of feeling over her. And then I'm getting at another point cousins. So that's where you have that magnet pull to each other right away. Also the telepathy, you guys will have telepathy, or if you guys already haven't, but that will definitely get stronger as both of your guys' vibration gets stronger.
That's awesome. So that's coolness, huh?
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Okay, so we can do just one more. And I saw Melissa Stevens. I'm sorry, I butcher names too.
Yeah, I'm horrible at names, but
Melissa. She said, I would love a reading.
Okay, so the big thing that I'm getting with Melissa is when it comes to love, I'm getting that she's in love with love, but yet at the same time, she's afraid to put her walls down. She's afraid to let that person in and understand who she really is. I mean, for who her soul is. That's the important thing. And what I'm getting there is that's not only hindering herself on relationship, but that's also hindering herself personally, because she's not able to express herself freely or show the world what she really is. Like, I'm seeing that she's kind of held back or reserved or in the shadows. And that's what needs to come out. She needs to express herself, and that's going to help her relationship wise. That's going to help her everything wise. It's all going to fall into place after that, but she's got to come out of her shell. Okay.
Awesome. I think that will be it for the readings. And thank you so much. I appreciate that you did that. I have just one more question before we go. And I mean, maybe you can help me understand. What I noticed working on myself, working on my spiritual growth, there's certain things that I thought that I've already healed from and move on. It seemed to come up. Or things that I had put up in the back burner, or things that I chose to ignore. I feel like they're bubbling up and coming up to the surface.
Correct.
Why is that? Why is that related with the spiritual growth? Is it because once everything pours out and I guess you deal with, then the growth can begin? Is
Correct.
that kind of
Yes. Yes. You have to transform. You have to be able to know what this feels like. You have to be able to pretty much clean out yourself. Detox. That's the best way that I could say it, is detox and get all of that out, all of that energy, all of the resentment, the forgiveness. You have to do all of that. You have to live by those principles, to not be angry, to not hold on to anger, resentment. You have to forgive. You have to have all of that, all of those principles that fall into place as a light worker. Because as I mentioned, you're working with fragile souls. So you have to make sure that you're able to mend those and to heal. And in order to do that, you have to be healed yourself. So that's one thing that I learned myself going through mental health, because I have my master's in marriage and family therapy, and I'm going for my doctorate in forensic psychology. So my big thing is I always learn, because there I'm growing myself as well. I myself am making myself stronger as I'm going through this. So again, life is an ever evolving, ever changing, ever learning thing, and so are you as you're developing. So you're mainly getting all of that out, so that way you can be comfortable and safe and being able to handle these fragile souls that are right in front of you.
Yeah, and I feel like the more I'm learning about this, it's not for the weak and hearted, or
not at all. And that's what I wish more people would understand, because there's a lot of people that go on and take this lighthearted, or they read Facebook profiles and try to do readings like that. Or, they're in there trying to say, oh, you have a negative inner entity. Let me do a spell on you. Different things like that, that really harm an individual. And I don't know why people would do that. So that's where I want to bring light. Like, to be a light worker, you have to be light yourself. You have to understand and heal yourself. That's a part of the job.
I realize that, and that doesn't scare me. I'm still gonna do it.
Definitely, because then you know that you're going to be your best self. You're going to be the best version of yourself, and you're going to continue to grow and learn throughout this. That's the other thing too, is just knowing that you're going to continue to grow. I can remember when I was younger, going right before my awakening, going through that, I spoke to an older lady that let me know that. I asked her, she let me know what I was going to be. And I asked her, is there anything that I could do? Is there books? Is there anything that I could teach me? Because I'm all about that, learning, research.
Yes, me too.
No. Yeah, she said, no, you have to learn yourself. You have to go through this yourself. That's a part of the game. You have to do it. So one of my biggest quotes that I keep in my mind is Babe Ruth's, never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. So that's one thing, like every time I get nervous, I play that over and over in my head. And that gives me the confidence to be able to do that. So, I still deal with emotions. I still deal with nerves, all of that. Everybody's going to do that. So just because you've overcame things and you're able to forgive and all of that doesn't mean that stuff's going to come up every now and then. But it's how you deal with that and how you heal from it. That's what's important.
Right. And once you heal and you have a light, you can spread that light around.
Yes, because then you understand on a personal experience, not just book or not just, watching somebody else, from a personal. And that is more important than anything.
Right. Because you can only read so much, but actually experience. It
helps you tune in on a whole different level if you have that experience as well.
With spirit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we can end this show. Unless there's anything else you want to pass along, or
the main thing that I want to say is just confidence. For those that are going through this or going through transformations, going through mental health, whatever it is that you're dealing with, you're not alone. That's my biggest thing. You're not alone. So always continue to fight. It's worth fighting for. It's worth continuing, because there is definitely a light at the end of the road, especially whenever you understand yourself, you understand what gifts and all of what the world is all about, I guess you could say. When you put everything together, then you definitely understand that it's worth going on for.
Yeah, wow. That's great, Jen. Do you want to give out your information?
Yes, you guys can catch me on Facebook at Jenn Crockett, Psychic Medium and Intuitive Counselor. You can catch me on Twitter at Jenn Crockett1. I'm on Instagram as Psychic Medium Jenn Crockett, and I'm on, I have my website that's jenncrockett.com, and then I also have my blog. So on my website, my blog is there, so just follow through there. My website basically has everything, so that's the easiest.
Yes, check her out. She's great. I mean, I hope you guys got a chance to see a little bit of what she does. And like I said, a full reading, you go into more details and it's profound. So I 100% recommend it. So thank you so much, Jenn, for being here, for giving me the opportunity to talk to you, to present you to my people and YouTube. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. And thank you. Thank you for spending your energy and your love and developing and showing everybody what it's about. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jenn. Hang in there. I'm going to stop the live feed, but we'll be able to talk. All right. Bye, you guys. Have a good evening or good night, I should say. Bye.
Bye.